My husband befriended a single mom, and it's making me uncomfortable.
Oh, are they flirty?
Me, 23 female, Jessica, married to my husband, James, 26 male, has been picking up our son from daycare since he finishes work before me. Our name is on the pickup register. Our son's daycare ends at 3:30 p.m. My husband finishes work at 3, and I finish at 4. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Daycare 62, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, lately I've been noticing that he would come home a bit later, 4:10, 4:15. At first I thought nothing of it, probably traffic or running errands, but it's been happening for weeks now, and I got a weird feeling about it. So I went to ask why he's been coming home late for the past months, and he couldn't give a straight answer. So I took it upon myself to go through his phone and found many chats with a woman he's never mentioned before. Reading through them, they were clearly flirty and they talked about the kids. I felt super uncomfortable with this because she's a stranger and I don't know her. So why is she around my son? But she acts like she knows him. She says things like, I bought him apple slices since they're his faves. The kids can share at lunch. After reading these, I decided that I was going to leave early to pick up my son and let my husband know not to. I arrived at the school, showed them my ID to confirm, and had a quick convo with my son's teacher and was going to leave until this woman stopped me and accused me of kidnapping my own son. I tried to tell her that I'm the mom and I'm leaving. She literally body blocked me and called the cops. When they arrived, I tried to explain the situation and kept on saying, Dad isn't here. Anyway, my son's teacher arrived, explained the situation. As I'm finally about to leave, my husband arrives. I tried to tell him that that crazy person called the cops on me for picking up our son, only for him to take him out of my arms. So I told him, we're leaving, get in the car. I'm walking towards the car and turn around. He's talking to her. I go back to tell him, we're leaving. And I looked at her to get her hands off my husband. We get in the car and he starts accusing me of being rude to her, saying it was an innocent mistake on her part. I let him know I know that he has a crush on her and that she's the one who was wrong because the teachers explained to her who I was and she still called. The only one making mistakes was him, entertaining a girl who has feelings for him and bringing her around our son without letting me know, making her think he's single, which he denied. So I asked, did you ever mention you were married? He tried to say they're friends. I told him, I'm going to switch daycares. He wasn't happy, but I don't care. I also mentioned it to his brother and a couple others in case he tries to twist it. He's been silent. I don't know where we stand.
Divorce this man.
Honestly,
this is disgusting.
This is scummy of him.
This is so scummy.
This is super
The cops
scummy.
are called on you
And
because they're accusing you of kidnapping your own kid. And he goes and comforts the woman who called the cops on you.
You just had the cops called on you. You just had the cops called on you. And he takes away your son from you. Comments. Comment 1. A piece of advice for you, OP. I've been through something similar. Don't go straight into making assumptions when you talk to your husband about this. Only confront him with hard facts. He was routinely late from picking up your son and gave no answer. Now these texts reveal it's because he's been spending time with her. That might be another thing if he had told you this, but he kept it a secret when asked. This in itself is a betrayal of your trust. He wouldn't lie if he had nothing to hide. Great point, because you asked him multiple times and he was cagey. Screenshot those flirty texts. Know what specific things you can reference. Ask him if he would be okay if you said these things to a strange man he didn't know. If he says he'd be fine with it, he's bluffing, and you should interpret that as a self-absorbed response. So don't engage in the conversation in the topic after that. He will just try to make you feel like the crazy one. Don't let him get to you. He had your kid hanging around another adult that you do not know. Tell him you should both be informed of where your son is and who he's with, even if one of you is there. If he tries to say, she's safe, or that he knows her, so it's fine, or whatever, again, tell him that he should not tolerate you having your son around a strange man. So you shouldn't tolerate his secrecy either.
I'm like screaming at this man.
This man sucks. Yeah, Kate says it's at the very least an emotional affair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if he still says it's fine, then maybe he's not a responsible parent and pickups should be delegated to you from now on. He's clearly not a responsible parent because he let his son's mother get the cops called on her.
Yeah.
And then goes and comforts the other woman who called those cops, and also involving his son because he takes his son away from OP.
Right.
And involving his son in whatever weird stuff is going on with this woman.
And how scared the son must have been.
He must have been terrified, like being taken away from his mom, everyone shouting,
the cop.
"Oh, you're getting kidnapped," and he's like, "It's my mom."
Oh my god, it's
no.
I'm raging for you.
I'm raging.
Girl, you can rage harder.
Rage harder. Go harder. Leave this man.
Leave this man. Boo this man.
Boo. Comment 2, you might have handled this a bit better, but the situation was out of control. Calling the cops is a nuclear move. Personally, I would look into filing charges against her. The daycare let you have the child, meaning they knew you. She had to know that somewhere this child had a mother. She filed a false report to the police, probably because somewhere in her mind she was going to be a stepmom soon. I do not envy you with the talk you must be having with husband right now. He was very likely having an emotional affair with this woman. That is a form of cheating that, in my opinion, is far worse than a physical affair. Emotional affairs can cause a husband to break up his family as he believes he will get a better partner out of the deal. I suggest getting into counseling as soon as possible if you want to save this relationship. Comment 3, your husband decided to start a relationship with someone else. There is no way to control him or control the environment enough to stop him. And there is an update, folks. Do you have any other thoughts?
Leave this man! Yeah. That's my only thought.
Maybe let's do a little poll while we're reading this update, but like leave him or therapy. Because I'm on the leave him train just because
leave him and then get therapy for yourself.
Yeah. Getting the cops calling you and you don't even defend your partner. Update! I spoke to his brother and a couple of my friends, letting them know the situation. I've also talked to a lawyer regarding filing, and I'm not sure if I'm going to file yet, but I have documents ready for when I do. So OP's also on the divorce train. I spoke to the daycare, and she's been punted out. Good. The ECE spoke to her, explaining who I was, that they had proof that I was the mother, plus I'm on the pickup list. So they just threw her out. So I guess I don't need to look for a new daycare. Regarding him, I spoke to him and he was mad that I had her thrown out of the daycare. But I had nothing to do with that. Turns out she's married, but her husband doesn't really pay attention to her. And from the look of it, she's probably never going to leave him. She's a stay-at-home mom. One of the other moms let me know about this. I could tell he didn't know either. After the daycare incident, I think it somehow got back to her husband, but she's the one who ended their talking. I'm going to file for divorce. His family is trying to talk me out of it, but what's done is done. I don't trust him anymore. He's asking me not to leave and that he doesn't want our son to grow up in a broken household, but whose fault is that? He's staying at his brother's house, who is well aware of the situation and doesn't F with him anymore. Most of our family and friends sided with me. I will be the one picking up our son from now on. Switch my schedule. And there's a second update. Any final thoughts?
Divorce.
Only
thought.
One thought, divorce.
Elevated now. Divorce for sure.
A little bit higher, divorce. I read the comments and I've decided to talk to him. He seemed apologetic, but when I asked him to show me the text, he hesitated, and in a way, I had to talk him into showing me. I found videos upon videos and texts of them hanging. The videos broke me. They look like a family laughing and the kids playing. He brought their kids to play together without telling OP.
It was after they picked him up from daycare. They went from daycare to hang out.
Messed up. I just wanted to pass away. He said he was sorry, but he cares about her. To which I replied if he's going to continue to stay friends with her. And he said yes. I let him know that if he ever wants me back and for our family to be whole again, he would have to cut contact, as if he never met her. He tried to say our kids are friends. I told him again, as if he never met them. Our son is 2. He's not going to remember them 2 weeks, so what difference would it make to him? Also, I nailed that age.
Yeah. The dad's going to be feeding, to the kid, go tell him you miss. Go tell him you miss Ethan. Go tell him you miss Joe. Go tell him. Go tell mom.
And the kid's like, I
don't really remember who that is.
Who? I miss someone?
I have a new friend at daycare already.
He gave me his passwords to everything. Full access. He blocked her and we switched daycares either way. I informed our son's new daycare about the situation and who this woman is in case she ever shows up or he brings her behind my back. And by the way, we would never post full episodes of stories like this behind your back because you can find them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio if you just search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final
It sounds like they're gonna try the family thing. I don't trust this man.
Well, I think they're like on the in the process of getting divorced, but maybe trying to co-parent or like separation, trying to co-parent. It seems.
Start doing therapy for figuring out how to do that.
Yeah, therapy for co-parenting. Is super important. There's a little bit left though. He's transferring workplaces. I guess she knows where he works. So she's been at his office once. Changed numbers plus blocked on socials. These are all in case she tries to contact him again. He moved back in and we're trying to make things work. Okay, so they are. But I don't know if I can ever trust him again. I read a comment that said to stay till he thinks we're good and leave. Not gonna lie. I consider it. Regardless, if I ever change my mind on the marriage, I'll have my lawyer and I'll be ready. For now, we're trying to make it work. I don't personally know how that's going to work. I mean, from you literally looking, like snooping at his phone, it wasn't going to work.
You have to go so far to feel comfortable of being away from this girl, like changing your numbers, still changing daycares, which I still would have too.
You have to be dragged along into that,
and then still being like, but they're friends. My wife started guarding her phone. Now I'm suspicious.
I'm suspicious too.
To give you the backstory, my wife, 38 female, and I, 38 male, have been married for 17 years and have 2 children, 16 male and 10 female. We were high school sweethearts who got married just after college. Our marriage has been mostly solid with no major issues. No splits, no abuse, no cheating, no passed away bedroom, etc. I've never had much reason to doubt my wife in the past and don't snoop on her phone/email, etc. I have a high-stress job that requires me to work a lot. By the way, this comes from throwaway 12/6/2016. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. In addition, my wife has been acting a little strange lately, i.e. being more guarded of her phone, coming to bed hours after I go to bed, etc. So yesterday, I needed to submit my phone bill to my employer for expense purposes. We have bring your own device, and my employer reimburses us for a portion of our mobile phone bill as long as we submit the bills. I printed the bill and noticed it was longer than usual, 42 pages. With our provider, the bill lists all of the calls and texts you make during the month. So I started flipping through the bill, and I get to my wife's phone and notice one number repeatedly coming up a lot. Like, there's literally an entire page of uninterrupted texts, probably 100 plus, just to and from this number. There are multiple entries where she was texting this person until 1 or 2 in the morning, and one day where she texted continuously from 5 to 7. Usually I get home around 7. And then again from 9 to 11:30. Not only is the number not one I recognize, but it's not from our area code. It's from an area code in the same metro area as us, roughly 45 minutes away. So I do the old 1-2 the number in Facebook, and some guy's name comes up. Again, that I don't recognize and my wife has never mentioned to me. I call it from my work number and voicemail states the same name. So I confront my wife about it. She confesses to having carried on a non-romantic relationship with this person for 1.5 years. She said she was lonely and went online on a website for people looking for non-romantic relationships.
Come on. I'm sorry. You went on a website that was specific. Like, those are just called friends.
Yeah, just
to be
go
clear,
out into
those
the
are just
world.
called friends. You're on a website looking for friends.
Get a hobby.
Going on a website specifically for non-romantic relationships is that's crazy. That's just looking for friends. Why did you call it that? That's so suspicious.
I don't like that.
Second, you didn't tell your partner for 1.5 years. I don't believe you that it's not romantic.
And wasn't going to plan to either, only found out from the phone bill. To be clear, she's had male friends in the past, and we currently have a couple friends that are male-female, and I've never objected to her talking to them. But she consciously hid this from me for 1.5 years, and during the period, repeatedly lied to me when I would ask her who she was texting until 1 a.m. She insists nothing physical happened, and that they've never even met in person, and I'm inclined to believe her. She justified it to herself by saying that it never crossed that line. At the same time, I feeling very emotionally cheated on. She took a lot of time that she wasn't investing in our relationship and put it in a relationship with another man that she hid from me. I'm at something of a loss here. I make enough money, top 1%, that we don't have to worry about paying the mortgage if we split, and I'm not worried about finding another partner if that happened. I stay in pretty good shape. I love our kids as well and would really miss seeing them every night. That being said, I really feel like my trust was violated and don't know how I can recommit to spending my life with someone who would lie to me like that for a year and a half. Am I making too much of this?
No.
And we have an edit.
I think really quick, I don't think so. And I think that maybe before you jump to divorce, talk to your wife and say, hey, I need you to fully come clean. Let me see these texts. Let me look at everything.
I need to read them all.
And if you don't want to do that, or if you're going to continue to lie to me, then this can't work out.
Yeah.
And there you go.
To answer some of the obvious questions that I should have addressed from the start, yes, she's extremely apologetic. Her initial response when I asked her about it was, he's just a friend. I pushed on that, and she's admitted that it was inappropriate and that she lied about it. She was extremely apologetic and said that she would do anything not to lose me. She texted him last night and told him that she can't be in touch with him anymore and deleted his contact information from her phone. If we stay together, we will absolutely do couples counseling. Before I start, I want to sincerely thank all those who commented on my post, but especially those who mentioned the iPhone recovery software.
Smart.
I owe you a huge debt. You're why Reddit is great. Okay, we left off Monday night with her admitting to an emotional affair with another man for 1.5 years, but saying that was it.
Well, she said, oh, it was a non-romantic relationship.
That I found on a non-romantic
dating website.
Yeah. After I posted on Reddit and people mentioned the iPhone recovery software, I phoned to tell her not to use her phone and that I was going to recover the information later that night. She immediately admitted to spicy texting the other guy. I got home and tried to run the software. For whatever reason, probably human error, it didn't work well. It only pulled up portions of 350 texts, and none of them seemed relevant. I decided not to pay $70 for the whole install and dropped the idea. I went out with a friend who had been the victim of adultery for drinks at 7 to discuss, and he thought I should give my wife a second chance as long as she had never met the other guy. I got home around 9:30. She was sitting with her best friend in the sunroom talking. I said an awkward hi to the best friend, who I am sure knew, and went up to my office. My wife came up 10 minutes later, when her friend had left, and immediately started yelling at me, telling me that I basically needed to get over it and that she wasn't going to feel like she had today for 6 months. And maybe you shouldn't have cheated.
Yeah, this relationship's done. Dunzo.
I kind of flipped out, noting that I had known for 30 hours and was only receiving trickle truths during that period. After we finished yelling at each other, she left. She went into my daughter's bedroom to comfort her. I assumed she left a text to the other guy, and I finished up my work and went to bed in the guest room. I woke up about 1:30. I went into the master bedroom and grabbed her phone. I scrolled through the texts and emails, but there was almost nothing there, as anything older than a day or so had been deleted. I felt like I needed to be able to trust her, but continued to firmly believe she was lying to me and that there were things she wasn't telling me.
You know that.
Yeah.
You have proof that she lied to you.
I put the phone back in her room and then went back into the office. I Googled iPhone recovery software and saw a couple results that looked interesting. I went back into the room and grabbed her phone again. This time she woke up and followed me into the office. I paid more attention to the software this time. I turned the phone into airplane mode. I disabled iTunes autosync. I closed all the programs, etc. I ran the free test and it came back with 3,500 results, the 6th of which was from the other guy. I paid the $50 for the software and ran the full program. It took about 10 minutes, during which she continually tried to convince me not to look at it. Once I had the results, I started going through the texts. The good news was that there was nothing that suggests she and the other guy met. I had been in Europe from Monday through Thursday of last week, and there were lots of recent texts. A lot of them were spicy related, but none suggested they were meeting. Which gets to the bad news. I asked when they started spicy texting. She said October.
I don't trust anything she says.
I looked through the text. They're not really organized by name, just file size, so you kind of have to look through all of them. And found one from July. It was clearly from someone else anyway. The style was very different and was very spicy related forward. I can't wait to see you unclothed. I'll wear anything you want, etc.
Come on.
There was also discussion of meeting up. So she trickled truth meeting up with 2 other guys from Craigslist.
Oh my gosh. That was the non-dating website.
Correct. She said she fooled around with one of them, but that they met at a park so they didn't have spicy sleep. By the way, we'll never cry wolf about all the full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, favorite podcast app, search OK Storytime.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When someone trickle truths, you know there's always more. You can never trust them. If you say, hey, did you do this? And they say no, and then you find out that they did, and then they go, okay, well, I did that.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, well, did you do this? And they go, no. And then you find out.
It's
They're
never
like,
going to
oh,
end.
I did that. Yeah, they're never going to tell you the
They're
truth.
already continually
And you
lying.
can't trust that they will.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if they do, you'll never know.
Exact.
Divorce.
But we got a little bit left. At that point, I honestly felt like a huge weight had been taken off my shoulders. All of the doubt that I could trust her again became irrelevant, and I knew I could move on with a clean conscience. Later that night, she trickled truth sleeping with the other Craigslist guy one time. Last night, she admitted to sleeping with another guy in Alaska when she went there alone on vacation a year and a half ago. I do believe her that she didn't meet the guy she was texting continuously, given the texts I read. Although, given the way the texts were progressing, I firmly believe it would have happened
she's
eventually.
like, I didn't sleep with that guy.
And that nothing seemed to happen when I was out of town for a week, but it doesn't really matter now. You can guess the postscript. She's been crying her eyes out and begging me to give her another chance. I plan on sticking together through the holidays for sake of the kids, but we'll be moving out come January.
Yikes. Good
That's the end
stuff.
of
Yeah,
that.
get out of there. She's a liar.
Run.
She's a cheater.
Run.